It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a beauty. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? It's a beauteous day in this neighborhood. A beautiful day for a beauty. Could you be mine? Would you be mine? I have always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I always wanted to live in the neighborhood. Guys, give me the stink eye with you. So let's make the most of this beautiful day. Since we're together, we might as well say, would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my neighbor? Won't you be? Won't you be? Please, won't you be my neighbor? How many people start out their YouTube show like that? If Fred Rogers were here, he'd be proud, right? I am in the neighborhood and I'm right outside of Pittsburgh. So shout out to Mr. Rogers. This is part of his neighborhood. You know, when you grow up in Pittsburgh as a child, you always get to visit Mr. Rogers' neighborhood for real at the TV station. At least I did. Not a lot of times, maybe 3 or 4 times, I would somehow find myself on set of Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood as an adult. I don't think they let you go if you're a child, I don't know. I don't know, but it was cool to see it. And now you can see it anytime. It's in the Children's Museum in downtown Pittsburgh, or not downtown, Allegheny area. So, Allegheny Center. My dad had an office there when I was growing up. But there's a children's museum that's fantastic, and you can actually visit Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. Okay, so I'm gonna turn the camera around and show you hi, Matthew, a little body of water, a little pond. And guess what? No gators in there. Absolutely not. So we're coming to an interesting place here in Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania, which is in Butler County, north of Pittsburgh. And we're going to Graham Park. Please do say a prayer, Matthew. Please do. You know, we always welcome prayers on the beach report. And I do love to read scripture. And we have some blue skies too. Hi, John. Look at this blue skies. Don't get to see them very much here in Western Pennsylvania, or I think the whole state. Darla texts me daily and apologizes for the weather. And well, she should. No, it's not her fault, but dang, it's nasty. All right, I say nasty, and then Matthew comes up with a prayer. I'm sorry. Okay. Here, let's read this. Heavenly Father, Lord, thank you for this day. I just hope everybody goes to the same day every day. Everybody kisses nobody not to see another day. Amen. That's nice, Matthew. I like that. I gotcha. Yeah, it's not evening here, it's just afternoon. Hi, Robert. Hello. How is it in Hawaii? I'll bet you've got some blue skies, right? Oh, kisses. Okay. I don't know. I didn't know what was going on, Matthew. The kisses aren't bad. Kisses for everybody. Okay, this is amazing. So you see the color of the sky behind me? This is almost every day here in Western Pennsylvania. It's this whitish kind of grayish color. It's not very attractive. Hi, guys. Fishing boys. And look over here. Blue skies. Mr. Blue Sky, please tell us why you had to hide away for so long. Anyway, yeah, the blue sky hides way here in Pittsburgh, Western Pennsylvania, maybe all of Pennsylvania and Ohio and all of it. It's not Florida. Overcast in Hawaii too, muggy and windy. Okay, well, Robert doesn't seem to have it too much better, so maybe we do have it pretty good here. I guess it's all in your perception, right? Good. It is springtime here in Western Pennsylvania, and I am going to stop talking a little bit as we go walk up this path so that you can hear the beautiful bird song all around me. Who did you donate $11 to, Valar? Hey, Fahanda, overcast in Gainesville. Okay. Hi, Star. Hear the bird song? Hi, Wes. I'm doing well. I'm happy to see the blue sky. It's like it just came out, the sun is out and everything just for my hike today. I'm gonna take you guys on Brush Creek Trail. We're in Graham Park. You can see a little map there. But this is a really beautiful park here. It's actually relatively new to Cranberry Township and a project that the township has is sponsored in partnership with UPMC Passavant Hospital. I don't know if they still call it Passavant Hospital. That's what it was when I was growing up. Hey, Solar. Anyway, it's turning out to be a pretty nice day. So we are going to take a little hike and oh wait, I gotta show you guys this bird. I don't know if I get a good camera on it, but this black bird with the red face. Where's my book of birds? I don't have it with me. Anyway, you want to learn something about birds? Yes, it is, Fahanda, a beautiful day to bring a child into the world. Okay, see this tower? Yeah. So this is placed here by the Audubon Society of Western Pennsylvania. And it's here to protect these birds called chimney swifts. And they are neotropical migrants, so we probably see them in Florida in the winter. But they fly all the time. They eat up to 1/3 of their weight in insects every day. And the only time they ever land is when they reach their nest. And apparently they nest on chimneys where they roost. Chimneys and trees, but their feet don't allow them to stand or walk. Did you know that? There are birds that literally cannot stand or walk. Wow. So they gather in flocks and they look like flying cigars. Yes, summer certainly is coming. In spring, the swifts return from South America, then they do go over Florida. The nest is made of twigs glued to each other and to the interior wall using the bird's saliva. Both the male and female help to build the nest. Bristle-tipped tail feathers and specialized feet allow the birds to cling to vertical surfaces. That is very cool. So, this is a roosting area for the chimney swifts. That's really cool. All right, let's see what other wildlife we will encounter on this walk through this beautiful park. It's been raining all morning, so we're gonna see a lot of water, and if there's too much water, I'm not going into it, and we'll have to turn around. But it's really beautiful here. And I saw some baby chicks earlier, so all the babies are being born, and it's also mating season and baby season. Hey, I wanna take a poll with you guys. If you, are close to someone who's having a baby or you yourself, did you hear that our girl Ashley is having twins? I feel like there is a baby boom going on, and I'm part of it. It's super exciting. But do you feel like there's a baby boom going on too? Is it like everyone you know is either becoming a parent or a grandparent, having another baby? Seems like a lot of babies are being born here in 2026, and it's spring. It's a good time for babies. Hi, Betty. Good to see you, my friend. So we've got a lovely little creek here. This is just gorgeous. I'm not walking in the grass because it's rain soaked, and you can see the creek is pretty high. But I'll tell you what's not in there: no gators, no alligators whatsoever in Western Pennsylvania. If that blackbird with full red head on it was a red-naped ibis. And I don't think that they have ibis here in Western Pennsylvania, Fonda, but I could be wrong. But thank you so much for looking it up. And I've seen a couple of them, so we're bound to see one of those birds up close and personal. Anyway, isn't that a beautiful little creek? How much fun would it be to be on a kayak? And I don't think this is a creek. I think this is called a flood. Got a little flood going on. Hi, Nidroff. Yeah, that is a flood. No gators in there either. You know me, I'm always looking for the alligators, but they're not here. So I do hear the sound of a water feature that could be a waterfall. That would be fun. There's a lot of flooded out areas here. This is a dedicated park for the public to use. And we are going to learn a little something about wetlands. Now, I teach you a lot about, oh, wait, look at this bird. This is a robin redbreast. Boy, I know one of these when I see them. And this guy's got his mouth open in a weird way. What's your deal, buddy? He's letting me get really close too. He looks kind of stressed out, doesn't he? Well, I want to read the sign, so you are going to either have to move or stand there. I will not hurt you. Okay. Yeah. Right. Go somewhere else. Okay. So we're going to learn about frogs. There are many different types of frogs and toads in Pennsylvania. They are most commonly found, the ones most commonly found in this area is the gray tree frog, known for its distinctive, smooth, small green and gray body. They are only 1.5 to 2 inches in length, making them smaller than the average North American frog. And they have a very loud sound in chorus, which I think we'll probably hear as we walk along the trail. We will hear those tree frogs. Nature. So much cheaper than therapy, right? Oh, you got a wetland in your backyard, Nidroff? Where do you live? A wetland, good thing you said that, because a wetland is an area that is full of water or has water near the soil surface. This wetland that we are looking at now is man-made. Everything here is man-made, by the way. In 2008, Cranberry Township built this mitigation wetland to manage stormwater runoff within Graham Park. More than 50,000 different herbaceous plants and shrubs were planted here. Here's some of the things that were planted here: goldenrod, black willow, woolgrass, swamp milkweed, and American sycamore tree. And I have seen some cardinals. Yes, yes, Nidroff. Let's look around, see what kind of birds we can find. So this, by the way, is a man-made swamp. All right. I want to find a waterfall. This water's pretty loud. It's kind of like a little bit of a rapids, if you will, going over these rocks. Thank you so much for the happy Mother's Day wishes. This year is a very special Mother's Day as I become a grandmother. Thank you so much for the Mother's Day gift, Nidrop. I sincerely appreciate it. Now, I want to ask you guys, a friend of mine mentioned that her children never ever celebrate Mother's Day with her or in her honor. My children do, but her children don't. And they do celebrate Father's Day with their father. So why the discrepancy? She said they also don't celebrate um her birthday, but they celebrate his birthday. And these parents are still together. It's not like they're divorced or anything. So it's kind of weird, but I don't know. I always appreciate the happy Mother's Day wishes. And if you're a mother, then happy Mother's Day to you too. We do all have a mother. And it's also my mother's birthday, and she passed away in 2013, and she would be 86 years old actually yesterday. But I always think of Mother's Day as my mother's birthday. Like it was always like the same thing to me. So I am in Pennsylvania until my new grandbaby is born, and I see how much I can help, or then if I'm in the way, I'll leave. You know what I mean? Look at these beautiful flowers. Oh, my mom was only 72 and 68 is young considering that I'm 60. So thank you, Wilson. Thank you guys so much for the happy Mother's Day wishes. I really appreciate it. Hi, Stuart. And I love the doggy hugs, that's for sure. Just beautiful back there, right? So we saw some boys with fishing poles, and I'm thinking this is a fishing area, and I'm not gonna get in this kid's way, but I do want to show it to you because it's gonna be beautiful. Yeah, rain all morning. Hi, Gretchen. Look how beautiful this is. So peaceful here. Oh, you got the rain on Long Island now. Great. Now, for all we know, this could be a man-made water feature. But yeah, this isn't a waterfall, but this is the sound of the running water that I heard earlier. Yeah, this day is shaping up to be beautiful. And oh my gosh, I say that, and the Lord answers with the sunshine. It's a brook. Okay, thank you, Stuart. We're looking at a beautiful little babbling brook, more than a water feature, a brook. Let's go over here. I just don't want to walk in mud. Not interested in that. All right, let's take a minute, listen to the bird song. Appreciate this gorgeous scene. For those of you just coming on, we're here in Western Pennsylvania, taking a hike through Cranberries Graham Park. Rain runoff goes into the creeks and the brooks and ultimately ends up in the bay. Rhode Island, that's very far away. I've never been there, Stuart. I've always wanted to check out Rhode Island, though. It sounds like a very interesting place. Honda says, I think the father had a lot to do with it. My hubby always took them shopping for me and made sure they celebrated me while they were growing up. Maybe their father didn't do that, and that is why they don't celebrate Father's Day. Thank you, Honda. Yeah, from what I understand, he does remind the kids to say happy Mother's Day and happy birthday. So I'm thinking it's not really his fault. The Ocean State. Really? I thought that New Jersey was the Ocean State. Now I'm very confused. Seriously? What's New Jersey then? Oh, no, because New Jersey's the Garden State. That's right. That's right, where the state vegetable is actually a fruit. That's it. Yeah, New Jersey. I love New Jersey. I always have loved New Jersey, and I lived in New Jersey for a long time. But yes, that's right. It's the Garden State, and their state vegetable is the tomato. And tomatoes technically are not vegetables, they are a fruit. So there's that. All right, we're walking and listen to the bird song and the traffic. That's a shame, but what are you going to do? Stuart says Rhode Island is very beautiful. He lives on an island off of Rhode Island, and a tourist place has 70 cruise ships a year. Ooh, that does sound amazing, Stuart. I'm gonna have to make my way up there one of these days. Here comes the sun. Do, 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 do. Here comes the sun. I say it's all right. Do, 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 do. Okay, we're right next to some beautiful wetlands. I'm always mindful of the fact that when I grew up, this area was all farmland and inaccessible to people like me. And now it's a park and everyone can enjoy it. I mean, I do think it's sad that a lot of farmland got sold and still is being sold. And then communities are, putting up neighborhoods, and there's a lot of housing going up around here, but they do have to preserve a lot of the land for the animals and for the people because we all need to see the green spaces. Hi, LaDonna. Wait, oh my gosh. Honda, my heart goes out to you. Did not see what you said. Okay, so this park is called a sportsplex. So you can imagine that there are some sporty things going on here. Like you can hear the hitting up the ball. Somebody's practicing their pitching and they're hitting. Huge baseball area. I mean, I guess it's got to be the right size for a baseball field. There's a field size, right? How do I tell you that I don't know anything about baseball without telling you that I don't know anything about baseball? Well, I did grow up in a baseball family. My brother played baseball his whole life, and of course, I was expected to sit in the bleachers and cheer him on at every single game. We all had to go to all of my brother's games. That might be why I don't like sports. Never have, never will. Well, I don't mind hockey. Hockey's kind of fun to watch, but it's a little bit violent. East Coast Beverly Hills. Jay Leno, Taylor Swift, Judge Judy, Conan O'Brien, Christopher Walken all have homes here. Whoa, Stuart. Okay, I got to come up there and we got to do a story. I'll make it up there someday, maybe. I don't know. I don't really like to leave Florida. I'll tell you what, waking up every day to gray, cloudy skies and temperatures in the 40s is not making me sad that I left Pennsylvania, what, 16 years ago. Long Island, East Coast. Oh, Long Island's East Coast, Beverly Hills. Yeah, I know Long Island. My brother used to live in Yaphank, and I have been to the Hamptons. I've never been to Fire Island, but I do love Long Island, and it is really beautiful. Montauk is gorgeous. I've only been there once or twice. I don't really know anything about it, but hi, Thurman, Newport, Rhode Island. I am going to Google that for sure. So this is a fishing pond, and that means that there's got to be fish in there. It's a preferred catch and release fishing pond. All fish must be released without harming them. No fishing license required. It's a Class A regulated pond. See, I'm like, why catch the fish if you're not going to eat the fish? Like, why even cause the fish to be like, after that, you release the fish. Are they going to look at all the worms like, what is this? Is this real? Can I touch this? They're going to be disillusioned. They're going to be, need I say it, fish out of water. It's not cool. I don't like it. They want to make it late for something. Yeah, yeah, I know, Fahanda. It's so beautiful here. It really is. But yeah, let's not hurt the fish. Like, what's up with that? Like, why not just let them be there? Look, here we go. People, kids catching fish. Hey, two-stroke here in Florida, and I'm in Western Pennsylvania. Cold, but I'm not miserable. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful here. And there's lots of people in the park. That's nice. Taking advantage of the fact that the rain finally stopped. All right, we're gonna go over this little bridge. Oh, thank you for the sunshine, two-stroke. Need sunshine badly here. And look at this, there are blue skies, so I think it worked. Thank you. All right, check it out. This is a brook, a babbling brook. Yeah, making a sport out of fishing, but it's not funny, I agree. Fishing's like baseball, America's pastime. I know, but it's mean. Like, it's literally hurting one of God's creatures. And I'm not saying I don't like to eat fish because I do. I think fish is delicious. But why hurt them? You know? It's just the way I am. People are always asking me, Jill, are you fishing today? Because I'm always in the areas where they fish, because I'm lucky like that. But I always have to say no. I don't hurt fish. I don't hunt. I don't kill anything except for insects, mosquitoes, ants, and flies. I will kill them, and I'm pretty good at it. You gotta be if you live in Florida. So there's a game going on here. They hold a lot of events in this park. They're playing soccer. You know, soccer is actually a sport that I can get behind because it really does teach kids, I mean, all sports teach teamwork and playing together, but soccer does it in some special ways. And I know this because I once did a job for the US Soccer Association, I think it was. Anyway, they had me writing about soccer and how it was being played in South Florida in areas where they have like low economic status places. So, um, the way that soccer was helping these economically disadvantaged children to learn how to eat better and learn how to be healthier. It's a really cool story that I did. And I learned a lot about soccer. And like I said, if there is one sport that I can get behind, it is soccer. I think it's a great sport for kids. Palmetto bugs, yeah, cockroaches. In Florida, we call them palmetto bugs, and that sounds so much nicer, but they are larger and they are nastier. They're or not nasty, I mean, they don't hurt you or anything, just nasty looking, but also, yeah, they're really gross. They're really big. A lot of people are scared of going to Florida just because of the bugs. Don't let that scare you. Florida's beautiful. So on the one hand, we have the children playing soccer. And then over here, we've got some cool birds coming up. We have another brook or creek. Wes says, I grew up playing basketball. My dad, who adopted me, and my sister taught me how to play basketball when I was 6. Played my entire life all the way up until I was 32. You know, basketball is also a really great sport, and it is also pretty non-violent, really. Oh, we've got so many robins here. The robin is like the bird of Western Pennsylvania, or maybe all of Pennsylvania. And you hear the birds? Chip, 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 chip. Yeah, they're huge. Honda's like, they have their own zip code. Yeah, that's not good. No, it's pretty wet around here. Yikes. My little Florida shoes can't handle it. Right, everybody's getting their exercise in today. Look at this springtime gorgeousness. I'm just gonna have to stop and frame some flowers. Wes says, "I even got extended an invitation to try out to play professionally in France." I mean, France. Unfortunately, it's 4 months too late because I got paralyzed then. Oh my gosh. Got paralyzed 4 months before the flight to France. Sheesh. Well, I will say this, sometimes you have an event in your life that changes everything, right? And I know what you're saying. My sister wanted to go to veterinarian school in the worst way. And right before she was applying for the 3rd time, I think, to be accepted to vet school, because it is actually harder to get accepted to veterinarian school in America than it is to get accepted to medical school. It's extremely, extremely difficult. Anyway, she was on her 3rd try, and we're thinking three's a charm, right? She's gonna do it. And she fell off her horse. Hey, Tomahawk. Um, we don't work on fear. We can repent, but we're not fueled by fear here, okay? God does not want us to be afraid. So don't worry about that. We're all good. We're all good. We love the Lord. We'll be fine. I do not have any allergies. I don't think I do anyway. Anyway, my sister fell off her horse, was in a coma for a week. And after that, she's like, I'm not going to try to get into vet school anymore. Fast forward, what, 30 years, and my sister is now, she didn't go to vet school, but she is now a vet tech. So she working with the most amazing horses on the planet, like really boutique veterinarian for horses. My sister's working with them, and she's doing some groundbreaking stuff with technology and some machine that helps horses. I don't know, but someone just told me that machine could help people too, so I'm gonna make her use it on me. Maybe I'll show you guys. Anyway, it's pretty cool what my sister's doing, but my point being is that she felt that her goals were just cut off, when she had that horrible accident, and to this day, she swears that that coma was one of the best things that ever happened to her, which is really weird, but okay. Anyway, she is living out her dream of working in the veterinarian field with the horses, so I'm just saying, could I be more proud of my little sister? Uh-oh, Nidroff, did you catch that salmon yourself? No, I ask for a reason, because if your salmon is farmed, i.e., bought from a place that has big salmon farms, that fish is not very healthy for you, and most likely has dyes in it and other chemicals, and has been eating crap and gets antibiotics. That's why you always want your salmon to be fresh caught from the Atlantic Ocean. Yes, score 1 for the Atlantic Ocean. Red light. No, it's not red light therapy, Fahanda. It's something to do with frequencies, which is really cool. And I'm trying to understand a lot more about frequencies and how we can, make ourselves healthier without pills and even without food. Although food is medicine, but it depends on what food you eat. Who just came on? Amy. Hi, Amy. It's so good to see you. But anyway, wild caught is not only better, it is the only fish that you should be eating. When it comes to salmon, you should absolutely not eat farmed kind. Don't do it. Only wild caught. So just saying. And if you find that your salmon is not wild caught, and I'm sorry if I ruined your dinner, but you're really better off feeding it to a cat. Just saying, sorry. Hi, David. Agree, wild caught is better. It's expensive, but you know what? You either eat the good real salmon or you don't eat salmon. Just saying, that's how it has to be. And people get concerned about the high cost of good food, but the high cost of good food is then offset by your health. Because if you're spending money taking care of your health, like you have health problems because you're eating crap, well, that doesn't work out either. And one of the things that I think is one of the most important things you can do for your health is to fast. I am currently right now in a fasted state. I have already drank green tea, which is really good for you. And it also, that's something else that you have to buy the actual green tea and steep it the right way. And my friends were showing me how to do it today, but you do want to get real green tea. You don't want to use tea that can like Lipton's or anything like that. Because unfortunately, those bags, they contain microplastics. Yeah, the med beds. When are we gonna get those med beds? I've been waiting for that, but I don't really care because I'm thinking that my health is my responsibility and not a doctor's and not anybody, just me. And that's why you guys have seen me doing some kind of weird things like, well, we could do it now. We'll walk backwards while talking and reading the comments. And that is going to help strengthen my what's the word? My agility for one. It's agility, don't you know? Because I am 60 years old and I do have to be concerned. I met a lady last night who had a fall and it took her out for 5 months and she had to have a total hip replacement. So that's terrible. Um, yeah. What about Louisiana? Yes, I'm glad you're here, Amy. Thank you for watching the replays, though. I do appreciate it. Um, I've only driven through Louisiana. I don't really know anything about Louisiana. Moringa. Oh, my husband used to always talk about moringa, the miracle tree. I have to try that moringa. Thank you for reminding me about that. Hi, Austin. Lucian tea. Yeah, I don't know. Any tea that comes with bags already, you really do need to be drinking loose leaf tea. So, yeah, Amy, we didn't get to be old, but by not being like this. I'm just saying, okay, I'm going backwards. It's a path I can see. But when you walk backwards, and I've talked about this before, and now some people come on the beach report just to see Jill walking backwards and talking to people and reading comments because it again helps my agility. And if you see me fall down, well, I'm gonna get right back up. You know, that's how you can tell if you are old. If people see you fall and they laugh, that's what you want. Because if they look all concerned and start running towards you and, "Oh, no, are you okay?" Then you know you're old. That's how it works. So you want people to laugh at you when you fall. Walk backwards, chew gum, and tap your head and sing Yahoo! I don't have any gum, Paul, but if I did, I would chew it. Stuart says, "My English grandma used to have the strainer at the end of the spout on the teapot." Yes, well, English grandmas, they know good tea. The Chinese, they know good tea. The oolong, the green tea. Who else knows good tea? Yeah, the British know good tea, and they know how to make it right. The only thing I'm concerned about walking backwards here is because it is a little bit wet, but I can see where it's wet, so we're good. But anyway, I'm walking backwards to help myself to be more agile so I don't fall and break a hip. You know, that's what they say. Once you fall and break a hip, it's over for you. Hey, Possum the cat. Yeah, Chinese tea is the best. The Chinese tea they make in the Chinese restaurants, that's good stuff. But, you know, Chinese restaurants, however, yeah, I think we should be eating in them. Just saying. Texas tea. How's that go? Um, it's like a bubbling crude. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. How do I not know that song? The Beverly Hillbillies. Oh, listen to a story about a man named Jed. poor mountaineer barely kept his family fed. And then one day he was shooting at some food, and up from the ground come a bubbling crude oil, that is, black gold, Texas tea. Well, the first thing you know, old Jed's a millionaire. The kinfolk said, Jed, move away from there. They said, California is the place you want to be. So they loaded up the truck and they moved to Tennessee. No, Beverly Hills, that is. Swimming pools, movie stars. The Beverly Hillbilly. Yes, I got it. I got it. Thank you, Ron. See, it comes back. They stir it with their big toe. Gross! But I'll bet you're right. Yeah, Stuart won't eat Chinese. I painted a cellar in a Chinese restaurant, and that's all I'll say. I can only imagine what you might have seen. Yeah, yeah. I don't really like to eat in restaurants too much, simply because I like control over my food, and then I don't like to eat at all. I'd rather eat nothing than eat poison. That's a fact. The Tesla MedBed Center is in Butler, PA. For real, LaDonna, I didn't know that. Really? I might have to go check that out and see what's going on there. I feel like there's a MedBed Center too, I think in Sarasota or Tampa area, but then it costs all this money to go to the MedBed. That just doesn't work for me. I think health should be free. I don't think that anybody should work for you for free. Like, I don't believe in communism. But when it comes to health, a little windy, I think that you should be able to get healthy by yourself, number 1. I think you should have access to fresh food and water, number 2. I don't think it should cost a lot. I don't think companies should be allowed to sell you food that is genetically modified and pumped chock full of chemicals that make you addicted to it, so you'll buy more. No, I don't agree with any of that. Alright, gotta turn the camera around, you guys need to see this beautiful little river. That's gorgeous. Wow. So good for you to see the green spaces. We've got another soccer field over here and lots of traffic, but we're gonna stay on the path and see all the little birds all around us, listen to the bird song. Who doesn't need a nice walk in the forest or in a park? Walking is one of the very best exercises that you can do. Did you know that? The only thing I think about walking is that you don't really get any upper body strength from walking, but when you walk, and I'm walking forward right now, and it really is like so easy to walk forward, so much easier. Now we'll walk backwards. I'm sure everyone that passes me here is like, what is she doing? But anyway, yeah, it's hard to walk backwards. It's not like super hard, but it takes different coordination. And apparently it also hits in different places in your mind, in your brain, and has to do with your coordination. So try walking backwards, even just for 5 to 10 minutes a day, and see if it makes a difference in your coordination. I do think it's made a difference in mine. It's been a long time since I've had any kind of a fall or I trip sometimes, but I always catch myself. I was wearing these horrible shoes that would trip me up all the time, but I always caught myself. But the more I realized that When you get older, you are just one fall away from certain disaster, so everything can change in just one fall. So, I'm doing things like walking backwards, 'cause why not? I don't wanna fall, and I want to be healthy in my old age, because if you don't have your health, you can have $1,000,000, but you don't really have anything if your health is bad. You can spend all your money trying to be healthy, right? I don't believe that. I believe doing things like walking backwards and walking forwards will keep me healthy. And also engaging my mind regularly and always trying to do new things. One of the things that I've been doing new lately is making films and editing films. So you see a lot of my reels, they look kind of different lately, right? Maybe a little more professional, maybe not. I don't know, but I have been trying to edit film and do it in a way that eventually I will be making a movie. So stay tuned for that. It's so pretty around here. Let me turn the camera around so you can see the gorgeous green spaces. Now I'm down to 2 bars, so please let me know if you can hear and see me. Give me a sound check, please. Yeah, the difference between walking forward and walking backwards, it's like it really reminds you of how you can walk forwards and be basically mindless, but it is great exercise. And it's even more important than doing, like, what do they call them? Spot exercises, your sit ups, your crunches, all that stuff. I haven't done anything like that in years because it's pointless. Just walking, I think for like half an hour a day will do so much more for your health, especially if you're older, because you don't want to pull anything. You don't want to have an accident. So, walking backwards, all of it can be really beneficial. And that is why I do things like that on the beach report. And you do have to make sure you do it in a safe way. If anybody walks backwards and gets hurt, do not blame Jill. I just think it's a good thing to do, and you're not going that fast, so if you do fall backwards, I think that might be a sign that you got bigger problems. Look at this. This is really beautiful here. So, there's the little I keep trying to turn it around. There's the little babbling brook, but there's a fallen tree. It looks like this tree was hit by lightning or something. It's, like, such an obvious gash. You guys are usually chatty, but I see that we still have people on and nobody's saying anything. Somebody say something. It worries me when I don't see your comments. Are you allowed to make comments? Because I am hearing from a lot of people that they can't make comments on the beach report, and I don't know why that is. It's really disturbing because it turns out the technology is not so great. It doesn't work that well. Sometimes I came on, I did a members only show the other day and nobody could see me. Oh, Nidroff, thank you so much. Okay, that's a good sign. I appreciate the star so much. Okay, let's look at this beautiful little babbling brook. I wish I had a little boat because there's no gators in here for sure. Always looking for gators anyway, even if they're not here, which they're not. There's no gators in Western Pennsylvania. The sun shining, sun is shining, the weather is fine. Wow, I just love walking next to a river like this. Listen to the birds, listen to the sound of the water. Just 2 flowers right next to each other. Okay, that's the rapids. Oh, that's not a duck. I scared the duck. Everywhere I look, there's something else beautiful to see. I hope you guys can see okay. Can you see? Can you hear? I don't see any fish. Probably why there's no fisher people here. We're just taking a nature break on this Mother's Day weekend. Is your mother still alive? I hope that you will honor her tomorrow or all weekend long. It's tough to be a mom. You know, and I was telling you guys earlier about my friend who doesn't get honored on Mother's Day or her birthday, while her husband does. I do think that it is endemic that mothers are the most underrated people in the world because when children grow up and they have problems in their lives, a lot of times they blame their mother. Even if it was the father who caused the problems, the children almost inevitably find fault with the mother. And it also seems to me that some of the best and most devoted mothers are the ones that get the most, I'm going to say, hatred from their own children. It seems like the ones that are the worst, their kids seem to love them the most. Tell me if I'm wrong on that, but it's just something that I have observed. That mothers who you'd be like, wow, really bad mom there. But the kids are like, they love her the most. It's just weird. I don't know. I'm a mother. I can't talk about my relationship with my children because they don't like it when I do that. But I will just say this. I've been through the gamut of every kind of emotion that one can have with a mother, both as a daughter. as a mother, but and maybe more importantly, as an adopted child. I didn't adopt my children, but when I gave birth to my children, just the act of giving birth awakened something very different in me, and reminded me that when I was born, I didn't have a mother, that I was taken away from my mother on the day I was born. And that is a trauma that most people can't understand because they think, well, you're just a baby, you don't remember it. But until you actually have a baby and are in close contact with a newborn baby, you realize that the first few weeks of a baby's life are huge. Like, not just every day, but every hour that goes by is a milestone in a little newborn baby's life. Little babies are like they're miraculous. And they know so much more than you think they even do. But they can't tell you anything because they can't talk and they can't walk. And they've just come into this existence with this new, shall we call it, an earth suit. And they don't know what's going on, you know. We apparently come into our lives with amnesia. Or maybe not. We don't know because the little babies are not physically able to talk. Some of them do every now and then, but not really. I'm just saying, you have to be an advocate for little newborn babies simply because they don't have the abilities that the rest of us have to communicate. So they do the best they can, and that's why a lot of people will do, like, baby sign language and stuff like that, because babies know so much more than you ever give them credit for. I know, I had 2 babies myself, and I was constantly amazed by the level of intelligence a baby has about their life and about their moms and about their existence, and I've researched the fact that when you give birth you have a bond with your child that no one in the whole world has, that it is super, super special. And breastfeeding is so important because you are literally giving your baby nutrients and things that you're making specially for them. That's why I've also been learning that, like, I guess it's good to do milk banks and things for babies who can't get breast milk, but that breast milk is not for for those babies. It's for the one baby it was created for, the baby that the mother gave birth to. And the breast milk is different at all the different times of the day. You've got morning breast milk, you've got nighttime breast milk. Like, you don't want to give a baby breast milk you pumped in the morning at night because that stuff's going to keep the baby up. It's just how it works. It's miraculous. And I don't think that a lot of people give babies and mothers the credit that they deserve and the knowledge and the things that are being passed between a baby and its mom. And to take a baby away from its mom the day it's born is a very cruel and horrible thing to do to both baby and mother. They won't do it to dogs. They won't do it to animals, but they do it to people. And that's a horrible shame. So I don't know why I'm not seeing. Oh, I just realized that I see your comments now. Amy has 7 and her eighth is adopted. Okay. Now I got to go back and read your comments because your guys, for me, were stuck on one. Nidroff, I want to be a grandparent. My son is 38 and no girlfriend at the moment. Ever married. My daughter, 27, and does not want children. So thank you, Betty. I think I'm going to be a good grandma. I have the huge grandma shoes to fill because I had the best grandma in the world and I miss her every day. And I can't imagine. Well, I can. I'm gonna be a grandma this great like my grandma was. I'm sorry your mom passed away 2024, Austin. Yeah, lots of healthy plants here. Yeah, okay, yeah, now I see your comments, everybody. Okay, I see your comment now, Stuart. Alright, now I'm up to date, okay. Alright, now we're up to date. So, we are coming up on some really beautiful flowers here. I love the wildflowers. Yeah, sorry, Stuart. I already love being a grandma, and I'm not even one yet. You know, here's the funniest thing. When my daughter was born, my first baby, I remember looking at her and thinking, "Man, I wish I was your grandma." Just it's so much easier to be a grandma, right? You can have all the fun and, you know, well, maybe it's not all fun, but it is amazing. Look at these wetlands here. Look how beautiful this is as I almost get run over by a bike. I know, you're a good man, Ron. Look at that. Look at that. Just it's a hillside of beautiful wildflowers. Can you guys see and hear everything? That's funny that you guys are wondering if I could see and hear. No, the baby's not born yet. We're waiting. We're in waiting baby mode. Could be any day now, could be a week, could be 2 weeks, not more than that. But we are right there waiting on the baby. Look at this. Sula, hey, how are you, my dear? You were having a down moment for no reason, maybe lots of small reasons, and then I'm live and Sula's happy again. Oh, I love that, Sula. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's different too when your daughter has a baby as opposed to your son. I think there's like this mother-daughter bond thing. Ooh, look how pretty this is. So this is very typical Western Pennsylvania here. You'll have this like kind of shale rock. See where all of the hillsides are just full of these levels of rocks that were put down during, I believe it was like the Cretaceous era or something like that. I'm not going to pretend that I know anything. I just know that this is a very significant area as far as geology. Amy has 12 grandkids. I love each of them in special ways and a special relationship with each. Oh, that's so wonderful. I just can't wait. Nidrop's married 31 years. That's a long time. Congratulations to you. Marriage is hard. Look at that. Beautiful creek. Or is it a brook? Or is it a river? I don't know, but it's gorgeous. Michael Anthony is a grandpa and am prevented from my grandson's life because of who I voted for. No, Michael. Kills me inside, but I have to have boundaries. Sad. I use YouTube to leave a daily message to him. You know, that just that hurts my heart to hear that because here's the thing. Every child deserves loving parents and grandparents. I think that grandparents and their grandchildren have unique, very special places in each other's lives. And when you are honored enough to become a grandparent, that relationship that you have with that child, it will last a lifetime. So I think that if you are prevented from being in a grandchild's life, you have to do what you can do like you are to give them those signs and to let them know that they're not gonna be under the rule of their parents forever, and they will have their own minds, and they will be able to resume a relationship with you someday, if not now. I'm sorry that you have to go through that. I'm sorry that your grandchild has to go through that because they're definitely being deprived of a wonderful relationship. And I think that sounds like child abuse. Sorry. Yeah, it's a shame when families divide over politics. I blame mainstream media and news. People should turn off the fake news. I'm sure your grandchild will come to see you someday. I agree with Sula completely. And everything Sula just said is absolutely right. And this is one of the reasons why I do the beach report. Because if you're going to watch something, if you're going to be looking for something to occupy your mind, that is a very farty sounding truck. Sorry, wasn't me, it was a truck. Yeah, I'm literally right next to a highway with a lot of trucks, which is always a good sign for the economy. When you see a lot of trucks, which is like all I'm seeing right now are trucks. Oh, there's cars on, those are being pulled. Oh, and maybe not all of them, but anyway, a lot of commerce going on, and that's always a very good thing for the United States. It's a creek. My oldest daughter, a teacher, came home and 11/8/20, my marriage of 40 years was over. My goodness. I'm so sorry. All right. This just makes my heart happy. Just looking at a creek like this. Is it a creek? Is it a river? Is it a brook? Ladonna says it's a creek. Or if you are living in Western Pennsylvania, you're gonna call it a crick. I'm near Pittsburgh, Stuart. It's a stream. No, we've added another one. So we got creek, brook, stream, river, but we all none of us think this is a river because it's really too small to be a river, right? That looks like a lobster. Is there a lobster in the river? What do you guys think? I'll tell you what's not in the river. No alligators. What is that? Looks like a pineapple. I don't know. We need to be praying for our families, and prayer does work. And you're so right, Amy. Anybody who wants to put up a prayer, I will read it. I think that's a great idea. Here, let's go see what happens over here. We've got more. This right here is a babbling brook. Look, that's beautiful. Ah, it's a crawdaddy. Okay. Wow, Michael. God gives you what you're asking for, actually. Sometimes you don't really realize what that is, but you have more control over your life than you think you do. You get what you focus on. That's just music to my ears. I don't know about you, but listening to the sound of that water rushing. Oh, then you would know that that was a crawdad, huh? Thank you for being a correct identification. All right. I don't really want to walk on this grass because, again, it's wet and I might walk into a lot of water. I don't want to do that, but I want to get this shot for you because it's just so beautiful. I think everything looks more beautiful with flowers in the foreground. Thank you, Wes. I pray that God puts a hedge of his divine protection on, over, and upon all of us and our entire families, extended families, loved ones, and friends, our pets, and our households. In Jesus' name, amen. Thank you. If I was in Philly, I'd be about 4 hours from Rhode Island. New York City is only 3 hours. Really, Stuart? That's interesting because I will be over there next week or the week after. I don't know if I'll be able to go to Rhode Island, but maybe one of these days. I'll be a little bit busy when I'm over there, God willing. What a hike we are having. Are you enjoying this hike as much as I am? I like how I get freckles on my face from this hat. I call them sun freckles. Yeah, so I think I'm losing my suntan here because there ain't no sunshine here in Western Pennsylvania. Except for right now, there is some sun, but I don't think it feels very strong. Although when I put my hand here, I'm feeling a lot of heat. It's my heart. Did you know, by the way, that your heart has a brain? Yeah, it's not just the brain in your head that's important. There's a brain in your heart. And think about it. You know, when you are really sad about someone you love, you never say, "Oh, my head hurts." You say, "My heart hurts," and you feel it in your heart. So thank you, Wes. Dear Lord, we may not see the ones estranged from us. No matter how far or near they are, please put your arms around them and protect them and allow them to see things as they truly are and often their hearts. Thank you. That's beautiful, Sula. Creeks, creeks, streams, not rivers, brooks. Um, what else? Oh, soften their hearts. Okay, that makes more sense. I got to show you guys this little weirdo water feature over here. I think this is all a flood. I don't know. Wetlands for sure. Oh, I just saw a little frog dump. Remember we were learning about the frogs? So I was reading that the green tree frogs are some of the smallest frogs in Western Pennsylvania or in the world. But when I was a kid, I remember finding little teeny tiny frogs like this big, like the size of a head of an eraser on a pencil. And we called them peeper frogs. Do you remember peeper frogs? We would find them jumping around, usually next to a tree. And they were just the cutest little things you've ever seen in your life. And we would catch ourselves some peeper frogs and hang out with them all afternoon. I guess kind of like fishing, but we didn't hurt them at all. Like we didn't stick hooks in their mouths or anything. On the river and 2 miles from the St. Francis Orphanage where my life began. I have a book in me, but I'm lazy. Oh, Michael, you do have a book in you. You know, you can get started writing your book by simply talking about your situation with a friend. I would suggest that you just tell your story to someone or just yourself in the mirror, even, and put your camera on you or tape recorder if you don't want to have your face in it. Whatever you do, get it down, say it in voice message mode or whatever. You can talk it into your phone too, you know, that where it's text to talk or type, where you talk and it types. And then you have to go through and you have to edit it because it doesn't always use the right words. But I think you need to do that. And I think that your life will get better after you do that. Because it's always really cathartic to write about yourself, to talk about your life. and to learn about some of the reasons why you do the things you do. Hi, Annie. Sula says, first time I went camping in Missouri, I was told it was tree frogs making the sounds. I honestly thought they were having a laugh, making it up. I never heard of them. I still can't believe they're real. Hey, Beach Bum. Yep, I'm in Pennsylvania and it's cold. Yeah, you're in Florida, Annie? What? How come I leave Florida and then everybody goes there? Is that a real thing? Yeah, thinking of video stories. Oh, for your grandson. And there's something else that Michael Anthony understands, but most people don't, is that when you do start out your life adopted or, whatever, just having these family members you've never met before, and then suddenly you get older and you have your own kids and they have kids, and these are like the first people you've ever met who came from you. And that is huge. It's a big deal. And it is one of the reasons why, I'm going to be a grandma and I can hardly think about anything else because it's such a momentous event in my life. It makes me feel like, yes, I was maybe some would say I was a mistake or an unwanted pregnancy or whatever, but God saw fit to make sure that I had a life and he gave me life, or I don't know. I don't know how that works, but at a time where you weren't allowed to kill unborn children. And so I consider myself very lucky because of that. But it's a lot, but it makes me feel like I really am here for a reason because not only do I exist, but two people exist because of me, and now a third person exists through me, through my bloodline. That's a big deal. Sula says, my father didn't want to know me. I always felt like half of the puzzle was missing. He married, had a family. I was forgotten. It's been a hard road, but also maybe I'm kind of better without him and kind of sad. Oh, bye, Amy. See you later. It's 54, light rain on the right side of Pennsylvania. Yeah, you got the rain. That's where it came from. Oh, you said you wish you were in Florida. Okay. So, yeah, here's a lot to unpack. Okay, you guys are all like saying like interesting stuff here. It's 60 on Long Island, steady rain, warming up tomorrow. Okay. So, Sula, you're definitely better off. I think when you come into this world and you don't have actual blood relatives, like I never did growing up until I was a teenager and was stalked by my biological father, and wrote a book about it called Do You Think About Me on My Birthday? And if you're interested in my book, please go to my website, chillbooks.com, where I am selling that book, along with another book that I wrote about the way 9/11 changed our society, called Like It Was Yesterday, A Journalist Files Since 9/11. Hi, Jillian. No, I'm not in Florida, Annie. Yeah, Wisconsin. Okay. That's what I was going to say. Aren't you usually in Wisconsin? Anyway, I think I've come to the end of the road. Look at that. I don't know, maybe not. Let's walk up there and see it. Oh, it might be there's a sign. So many people want to see their kids and grandkids and are not allowed. And then some of us want a relationship and the parent, grandparent doesn't want to know. It's all so crazy. Really, it sure is. And it's also wrong. I think it's really sad that people like me and so many others here are denied knowing our ancestry. I mean, as an adopted child in America, you are denied knowledge of anything about your past. And your past is who you come from. I mean, doesn't everyone deserve to at least know their own mother's name? It just seems really weird. Okay, so this is the Brush Creek Trail that we've been on, and I think this is the end of the Brush Creek Trail. So I'm going to turn back. Cute little birdies hopping. Interesting about those chimney swift birds that don't walk or hop. That's so crazy. All they do is fly. If I had wings, no one would ask me, should I fly? The bird sings, no one asks why. You can't share in a dream that you don't believe in. If you say that you're free and pretend to be me, you won't be then. I don't know. I'm mixing up the words for that song. Sula says, yes, you do deserve to know for health reasons too, or hereditary reasons that might pass to your kids and grandkids. And that's why I reached out to him, but he didn't want to even meet once. Yeah. It is selfish and it is his loss, and that's for sure. But I think when you find out suddenly that, look at this, what I just found, a big fat goose. That goose is huge. Look how beautiful. But yeah, you are definitely better off, but it is a shame that that information is denied you simply because he doesn't want to be bothered. And that's the thing. Hi, Amos. Look at that big fat goose. That thing is really big and very beautiful. Yeah, Canada's calling. They want their goose back. But it is your loss too, Sula. I'm sorry. I think it's criminal to deny people knowledge of their own birthright. They talk about birthright. How come some people can have birthright and others can't? How come some people have the right to be born and others don't? It just seems so very unfair. When you become an adult, you should get all that information. I totally agree. Nice to see you again, Amos. Yes, we love to stay active. If we're not active, what are we doing? Waiting to die, right? Pond got chased by a kind of a goose as a child. Did you get goosed? Is that where that came from? Oh, the snowbirds, they're home. I left with them apparently. I'm in Pennsylvania for a reason. And I do always end up in Western Pennsylvania because I am a Western Pennsylvania chick and I was raised here. And this walk you see me on, this used to be my playground. This used to be my childhood dream. This used to be the place I ran to whenever I was in need of a friend. Why did it have to end? And why do they always say, don't look back? Yeah, I always stop at that part of that song because I think it's fun to look back. I just do. Even to the bad things. Hey, Tricker Tom. All right, what is that? Sula, goosey, 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 goosey gander. Where shall, no, goosey, goosey gander. Where shall I wander? Upstairs, downstairs, in Our Lady's chamber. Then I met an old man who couldn't say his prayers. So I caught him by the left leg and threw him down the stairs. I love it. That's fun. Yeah, we used to, what were our rhymes? My favorite was Birdie with a yellow bill hopped upon my windowsill, cocked his shiny head and said, get up, you sleepyhead. I've always been a sleepyhead. I do like me some good sleeping times. All right, let's learn something about seasons because we don't really have any seasons in Florida. No, we do. We have a rainy season, we have a dry season. Wildlife in this area, however, of Western Pennsylvania is more active during the summer. There are many creatures such as blue jays, deer, and northern cardinals that can be found all year long in this trail. There are so many beautiful parts of each season to enjoy here. Appreciate the flowers, buds, and leaves in the spring, the colorful trees in the fall, and the green grass in the summer, as well as the snow painted woods. Yeah, snow is cold. I'm so happy you're here too, Fahanda. I love your colorful hearts. That looks pretty. Uh-oh, Trucker Tom. I know that one. Your eyes are broken hearted. I know that one. Don't say it. Don't say it. Yeah, that's a poopy joke. Yeah, I'm gonna chase that dude. That's funny that you say that though, Tom, because I'm on this path and you can see there's a lot of people even up ahead running and they come running behind me. And I was nearly kidnapped once. And one of the things that I remember the most about my right before I was nearly taken was the sound of flapping behind me. Get to know that sound. Now, I'm not bugging out here, but whenever I do hear the flapping sound, which to me means people running up behind me, I get pretty crazy. I'm like, no. But yeah, here I'm not scared. So it's all good. See you later, Michael Anthony. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Yeah, Trucker Tom. Anyway, I am also going to have to say ciao for now because I'm gonna not have very much juice on my phone. But we've been hanging out here and taking a walk for 92 minutes, which means I've gotten a lot of walking in today. And the other situation is that I am fasted, and my friends tell me they've got all this great food waiting. So, it's one thing to fast, but if there's some delicious organic food waiting for you later, then you fast until it's time to eat, and you eat once a day, and you move on. I don't know. I love to fast. All right, you guys. Had a wonderful time with you all. Thanks again so much for the stars and the appreciation. I love you guys. We'll see you all on the next beach report. Ciao for now. Have a blessed day too. And all you moms out there, have a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day tomorrow. Well, we'll be on the beach report tomorrow. We're going to honor mom. All right, you guys. I don't know how far I walk in, but probably a couple miles. All right, you guys. It's hard to let you go. So long. Farewell. Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. I hate to go and leave this pretty sight. Anyway, bye.